Hey, Sadie and Jose. Okay, this lesson today is pretty short for like the reading and everything like that, but it's super, super important. Okay, so this isn't like super common here, but insurance is super important to understand. It's not like here there is none. Okay, I don't know how available it is, but I know that like some people sell seguros. For what exactly, I'm not really sure, but you do need to understand how insurance works. You don't know where God's going to bring you, and insurance is very common in other countries and required. So you need to understand how it works so that you're not getting yourself into an insurance policy later on in the future that doesn't benefit you or that doesn't help you at all, and you end up losing a lot of money, because that's what happens with insurance. You have to be super careful, because if you don't have the right coverage for insurance, seguros, right, then you can lose a lot of money if something happens. Okay, so let's talk about it, and then make sure that you understand what insurance is. So let's talk first about insurance, okay? We have homeowners insurance. I'll put homeowners insurance up here. We've talked about it with like car insurance before. In the next example, you're gonna see it about tenants. If you see the word tenants, that's people that rent, okay? Homeowners are people that actually own their own home. Tenants are people that rent from somebody else, okay? So what is homeowners insurance? Okay, it's like this, and we'll go through the reading, but insurance is this. You are paying a company every month to cover you if something bad happens in your life, basically is what that means. So if you own a home, you're going to be paying monthly, a couple $100s, okay, monthly to a company who's going to take that money and take money from everyone else that's doing the same thing, and they're going to play their riesgos, they're going to play their risk, okay? They're getting in money, and they think to themselves, they know that there's a fraction of people that will need to call them and say, look, my house had a fire, my house burned down to the ground, I need my insurance company to cover my costs. And that's what they do, okay? So imagine you have a home, you have no insurance, okay? Let's say that you invest $30,000 into building that home. And for an accident, your house burns down, completely burns down. Or there's a flood, or there's a hurricane, and you have no more home. And you don't have $30,000 in savings to build another one right away. You don't have any money. Where are you supposed to go? What are you supposed to do? Well, that's what insurance covers, okay? So if you have insurance, let's go back to the same home. You put $30,000 into it, and you are paying every month to a company who will basically replace your home, who will pay for you to get a new home, because you've been paying them every month, and so they cover you if your house burns down, okay? That's the basics of how insurance works. However, there's a lot of requirements, okay? There's a lot of ways to figure out how much you pay each month, and there's a lot of ways to figure out what they're going to cover. You may have an insurance company that says, we're not going to cover the whole thing, but we'll cover some of it, okay? So you put $30,000 into your house, you insured your house, but we're only going to give you, because your house is old, we're going to give you $15,000 for the fire. And you got to take the $15,000, okay? It depends on what insurance company you have, if it's a good one or if it's a bad one, okay? If they're going to cover you. Sometimes you end up getting more money than you put in, because you were insuring your house for more money. If you said that you put $30,000 into it, but you're insuring your house for $50,000, you may end up getting more money if your house burns down, okay? You also need insurance on the things inside of it, okay? I remember that my mom's like super good with finances, right? So we had a hurricane coming to us, and she made me take pictures of anything valuable in the house before we left. Because if they were to get destroyed, then she would need to go to the insurance company, she would need to show the pictures, they would need to determine the value that they put on those items, the lavadora, the estufa, the stuff like that, the TV, the refrigerator. So they would need to put value on those things and say, okay, we're going to give you this amount of money to replace those items. That's the insurance company, okay? Because what happens? They're getting money from like hundreds of thousands of people, and maybe only 100 of them are ever going to call and say, I need you to replace this item. So they're making big money, okay? They're making big money. Also, if you do call and ask for money, if you do call and say, I had an accident in my home and I need money to replace this, your insurance goes up. You have to pay more next time because you're the cliente that's making them pay money out, okay? So they kind of punish you for that and make it go up so that you have motivos to make sure accidents don't happen. Sometimes you can't help it, okay? Sometimes it's purely an accident. Sometimes it's purely a disaster, an emergency, right? But still your insurance rates sometimes are going to go up. Okay, the other thing that you need to understand before we go into the actual lesson is there's something called deductible. Deductible. And I know that you're like, oh, this is a bunch of information. But I repeated it to you guys once before, and I'm going to keep repeating it every time I get a chance so that you feel confident. But even if you go into an insurance company, you're still going to have to figure it all out based on what they do, okay? But this at least gives you the base. A deductible is your responsibility, okay? So for example, you're picking what type of insurance you want, and they say, okay, well, you can insure your house for $30,000, but you're going to have a deductible of $3,000. That means this. If you call in and say, my house burnt down, I need you to give me the money to replace it and build a new one. They're going to say, that's fine. We're going to give you $30,000. We're going to do the $30,000 like you need, but you remember have a $3,000 deductible. What does that mean? That's your responsibility. So they're going to give you $30,000. They're actually going to give you $27,000 because you need to pay for the first $3,000. Okay, but if you're like, so let's say that your lavadora breaks. Okay, a disaster happens, water comes through your roof, a tree comes through your roof, and your lavadora breaks. And you say, should I call my insurance company and replace the lavadora? They'll pay for the lavadora? No. You do not. You go and buy a new one. Want to know why? Because if your deductible is $3,000, let's say that your lavadora is $1,000. Okay, a new lavadora would be $1,000, but you're supposed to pay the first $3,000. So is your insurance company going to give you anything for that lavadora? Nada. Absolutely nada. So you do not want to call them, okay? Because every time you call them and report an accident in your home, they make you pay. Okay, so it's not going to be worth it to call them for a lavadora, but is it going to be worth it to call them for your house burning down? Claro que sí. Is it going to be worth it to call them for a tree coming through your roof and the damage that's done there? Claro que sí. Okay, so you have to decide when to use your insurance. Okay, so here we go. Let's get into it. Let's read it. It says, another necessary expense in owning a home is homeowner's insurance, which protects the home against a large money loss due to such things as fire, theft, okay, so somebody comes in and steals your things, or they damage your windows because of it, then insurance pays for that, and lawsuits by persons injured on your property, okay, so if somebody comes to your property and they fall, and they want to sue you to pay for their medical expenses, okay, they want to put a demanda on you to pay for their medical expenses, your insurance company will pay for that. Look what it says, extended coverage. So if you're in an area where you're going to need more, like here we would need wind, you have to pay more. Extended coverage means you have to pay more to cover damage by wind, hail, which is granizo, right? Smoke, riots, when people are like protesting on the streets, explosions, automobiles, falling planes, and other causes, okay? So, insurance companies are smart. They say if you want to be covered by stuff like that, you have to pay more, okay? Because they don't want to take the risk. Be sure you know exactly what your policy covers. So that's what it's called. The contract that you make with an insurance company is called your policy, okay? And that's mentioned all the time. What is your policy? What is your policy? Okay, here we go. The annual cost of insuring your home is determined by these things. So, not everybody pays the same insurance. You and your friend are not going to pay the same insurance. This is how they determine it. 1, the value of your home. 2, the type of building material used. Why? Well, because wood burns easily and brick, ladrillo, rock does not. So the insurance company is taking más riesgo, taking more of a risk by insuring a home with madera than insuring a home with ladrillos, with bricks. So they're going to make you pay more for the risk. Okay? Then number 3, the location in relation to other buildings. And number 4, the quality of the local fire protection. Okay? For example, the insurance rate for a brick home in the city would be less than the insurance for a rural wooden home. Okay? Because they have more risk of burning up and the insurance company paying. Not only should you insure your home, but you should also insure the contents within your home. Most insurance companies automatically insure the contents for about 40 to 50% of the home's value. For example, a home insured for $80,000 would include about $40,000 worth of insurance on the contents. Okay, so that's really good to know, but you have to check your policy. Do you cover the stuff inside my house? If not, then you're gonna have to specify it and then they'll give you a rate based on it. Any items in your home that are valuable, such as jewelry or furs, should be insured with extra coverage. Homeowners insurance rates are usually based on $100 units of insurance coverage. So this is what that means. Just like we did with the tax rates based on like 1,000, and 100. That's what insurance is based on 100 most of the time. So look at model problem number 1. Don and Sue Collins must pay 65 cents per $100. Okay, 65 cents per 100. Which is insured for $75,000. How much is their annual insurance premium? Cool, okay. This is not too hard. What are you gonna do? How many $100 units do you have inside of it? Inside $75,000, you have 750 $100 units. So you do 750 times 0.65. Okay? And you're going to get $487.50. There you go. Okay? And that's how much you have to pay per year, because it says annual insurance premium for your house. At the end of your life, you're going to look and say, wow, I paid a lot of insurance and they never had to do anything for me. It's true. Sometimes you pay insurance and then it never helps because you never need it. Okay? Then you feel like you're just wasting money on the insurance because your house never had a problem. But think about it. What if your house did have a problem? Then, puchica, you would be in a bad place if you didn't have insurance. Okay, look what it says on the next page. If you rent, you only need to insure your home's content. Okay, so look, now we're into renting. If you rent, you're a tenant, then the person that owns the home already has the insurance. You don't have to worry about all that because you're only going to be there temporarily. But you do need to insure the stuff inside your home because that's always going to be yours. Okay? So it says, most insurance companies will sell tenants policies, which insure the tenant's possessions for a stated amount. Annual premiums for tenants insurance are based on the amount of insurance purchased, the location of the building, and the type of the building. So again, they're going to assess the type of the building that you're renting, but they're also going to assess how much insurance you want. So you have to look at your items and say, okay, they're worth this. I need this much insurance. But like, okay, if I'm renting right now, I don't really worry about a lot of stuff inside my home. It's not valuable, okay? I'm not going to want them to replace my mochila, okay, or a bracelet I bought in the market. But if you have expensive things that you've invested in your life, then yeah, you need to get some insurance to cover it.